Yesterday was one of those maximum you don't know shit about football days. Just
football happened everywhere, man.
The home favorites, that doesn't mean anything. And of course, the Titans blow out the Rams without Derrick Henry. And of course, Von Miller doesn't mean anything to the Rams. And of course, Denver goes into Dallas, and Dallas has one of the weirdest results you'll see in Atlanta. Does that to Trevor Siemian, and it's like 9th on the list of surprises from yesterday.
The Bills lost to Jacksonville.
Yeah, and played a terrible game. And all of this is setting up. I saw somebody pointed this out on Twitter. I think it was Aaron Schatz, that Josh Allen stunk yesterday. Dak stunk yesterday. That's Mahomes throwing for like $160. Patrick Mahomes wins. We're talking about Jordan Love in that game, but Patrick Mahomes wins and throws for 160 yards. Kansas City, it's just weird.
Yeah.
They don't look like they're good at offense anymore.
The defense was very good yesterday, but
it's a terrible defense. Jordan Love
against Jordan Love.
Jordan Love was incompetent. LaFleur, who doesn't know what the word ivermectin, never heard it before because he's so busy coaching up Love. That's what Packer football is going to look like now that Favre and Rodgers are going to be gone. You're gonna regret running him off.
Yes,
and you're going to have Jordan Love in that spot after Favre and Rodgers in 30 years of greatness at the position. And without Rodgers since 2017, Stugotz, they averaged 13 points a game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this was a next-gen stat. The 0-16 Browns and the 0-16 Lions averaged more than that per game and didn't win a game.
But, Dan, you're right. And we talked about it on the postgame last night. But of all the storylines in the NFL, and there were certainly plenty of them, over the weekend, the biggest storyline is the fact that the Chiefs' offense appears to be broken. And I can't explain it. I have no idea why. It's a good Packer defense, but they were broken before they played the Packers.
But what I was going to say, to finish the thought on football, is I think it was Aaron Schatz who pointed out, oh, my God, Tom Brady's lining up to win MVP again if Lamar Jackson doesn't take it from him. This is so many quarterback. Kyler Murray didn't play. Arizona wins without him. The favorites at home, it doesn't mean anything.
Right.
This season.
No.
And I want to talk about football and what a strange football day it was, but some news broke Friday after we were done with everything on two fronts that we didn't really talk about. Odell Beckham leaving the Cleveland Browns. He'll be picked up by somebody today. Deshaun Jackson's going to the Las Vegas Raiders, right?
Yeah.
They just
that happened.
they just want they want a deep threat to replace Ruggs, and that's the only one available.
Just give him his route tree.
Mm-hmm.
And Odell Beckham is being talked about most likely where, because I imagine there are a good many teams who are thinking they might be able to resuscitate that.
He might have a waiver put in on him. Usually someone at this age in their career and at their cap number, they usually clear waivers the way Deshaun Jackson did. Not the case because Odell's cap number was restructured as a part of this negotiation. So there is chatter that he may actually get claimed. I know Russell Wilson, whose skill set, not only because he's an elite quarterback, really, I think, meshes with what Odell likes to do. Both guys like to extend plays and improvise on the run. That seems like a likely fit.
That would be good. Good God. 3 receivers. You're talking about 3
Metcalf.
Different kind of receivers. No, and Lockett too. If Odell Beckham I don't know where the best situation is to resuscitate. Baltimore's a pretty good one.
Name their third receiver over in Seattle. Can you?
I'm gonna Golden Tate.
I think it's Swain.
Percy Harvin.
I think it is
Swain.
Swain.
Yeah, but Russell doesn't do a lot of the underneath stuff. When he targets the middle of the field, it's like those deep crossers. But I think Odell could really work there. I think.
We'll be curious to see where that ends up, but
You think Odell wants to be in a place where Metcalf is and where Lockett is? I think he wants to be the featured guy. I'm not certain he wants to fit in. I think he wants to be a guy, right?
Good luck with that.
I mean,
Good luck with that.
I just he wants to choose where it is he goes. He'd rather not be claimed.
Dan, you mentioned the 2 stories that pass, and there's time for Odell, but considering this show's public love for Aaron Rodgers, we can't take the Jordan Love angle to this. We got to crush Aaron Rodgers for a little bit. For lying I mean, his beliefs, his kooky conspiracy theories, it's all the same Kyrie stuff. Now, I know games have happened and time has separated some from this, and he's going to come back a conquering hero. But what he was doing on Pat McAfee's show was so dangerous. Like, people are he has standing in that community specifically. People look up to him. He's using the platform to espouse these crazy conspiracy theories, cherry pick whatever medical research he likes and dismiss others. This is a guy that is very critical of people that have no idea what they're talking about football, yet all of a sudden he's a medical expert. It was dangerous. People may get sick because of what he did. Just a terribly disappointing day because I was led to believe he was vaccinated. I usually mesh with Aaron Rodgers' general vibe, although over the last couple of seasons, he's left some breadcrumbs that I'm like, what is this guy truly about? And he showed me way too much of himself on Pat McAfee.
He talked too much. He actually probably would have been better served if he had turned down the volume on the arrogance and I know more than scientists and science and all the contradictions with referencing Martin Luther King when you sat that one out on Kaepernick on publicly, and this stuff was hidden, Stugotz. He didn't have this opinion publicly until he was caught lying. The opinion was in him, but was not in front of us.
Right.
All of these theories, what he decided to do by talking, I actually thought, just as a public relations move, because everybody's fighting over everything, that he might have been able to get away, if it had been less nonchalant, less flippant, with just, you know what? Allergies to 2 of these, sterilization, I'm worried, I want to have kids, and the Johnson & Johnson caused some clotting. You will have science debunk one after another, all of them. But if he had just kept it there, I think he could have bought himself as the State Farm salesman.
Right.
He could have bought himself something. But because he kept talking like that, Terry Bradshaw is calling him a liar. Terry Bradshaw is not exactly, you know, a liberal progressive guy.
He was a bit defiant. He really dug in. You're saying, hey, in that spot, just say, listen, if I gave you the impression that I'm vaccinated, my apologies. I am not. Here are my reasons. I'm allergic to this, that. That's it. That serves him better than what he did because what he did was terrible.
Okay, yes. And let me backtrack on this because I know what many of you want is just what I imagine Chris Russo did, even though I haven't heard it, but they've told me we have some great Chris Russo sound of him losing his mind on Aaron Rodgers. And just philosophically as a principle, because I know many of you will criticize me as being an apologist for Aaron Rodgers. I just want you to understand that my tone as innocuous sports columnist has never been to be rabid and outraged, even in times of life or death, at the clowns at the circus, whether it be Kyrie Irving or Aaron Rodgers. I just don't do outrage very much. So I know that some of you want this. I imagine the Chris Russo sound must be great. Him breathlessly just calling Aaron Rodgers a liar, because this is the easy place where we always get stuck and can't have the conversation afterward. It's too easy to be liar, liar, gotcha, liar. And then just disappointing and dangerous. And then the verbs and the adjectives get loaded, Stugotz, in a loaded time when we're fighting with each other. And you can't have a conversation about this shit reasonably anymore.
Is it too easy in this case, or is it just the truth?
And everybody, this is the thing. If you're someone who drags Kyrie Irving, yes, drag Aaron Rodgers with the same intensity. What he did, if not, what he did was probably worse. Like if we want to do comparison.
Kyrie didn't tell me that he was vaccinated.
Kyrie had his name on what he thought.
Yeah.
And he allowed you to call him a loon. The State Farm guy was hiding. And that's why people are pissed. Now, I'm not pissed at him. I wish I would apply the same words, dangerous, selfish, reckless. I'm not pissed at him because he doesn't raise my kids. Like
right.
I don't have kids, and so I don't know what these emotional connections are that others have to their role models and where betrayals are, okay? And I've never been call the guy a bunch of names. If you want to drag him, use the same words you use with Kyrie. Like it's the same realm of things. I like him because he's interesting and he's a thinker. And I like that he's a thinker, even if I don't like what he's thinking, because I like the guys who are interesting. I like Kyrie, too, as an interesting personality who creates great content in this stupid world where we work in the circus tent, that every time I want to talk about something societal, there they are for me as the body shields that ESPN wanted me to wear. Here, this is ratings fodder. This is content gold. McAfee, and I am jealous that that's where Aaron Rodgers went, but I would have asked him a different set of questions. I would not have kissed his ass in that spot. But McAfee is not a journalist in the traditional sense, and he's great, and that has been a great place for both of them. But even McAfee was stifling a laugh when Joe Rogan was summoned. Like, put his hand over his mouth because he knew what was going to explode. And McAfee's the wrestling entertainer. Like, that's a perfect combination of content, and I'm jealous of it. But I wanted to be in there asking those questions. I wanted to ask Aaron Rodgers those questions. Like, what are you talking about? Every time you've had surgery, are you asking the doctor about what it is that they're putting in your body? Like, what are you thinking here that you know more than science and scientists, that you just got over here, read some things on YouTube, and internet rot brain makes you think that somebody can be a scientist on YouTube?
I haven't watched the entire McAfee interview. I've just digested that through the clips, and all the clips are just of Aaron talking. I've seen the clip where McAfee kind of stifles a laugh, but I think when Aaron Rodgers feels comfortable around you and gives up that as an A+ grade from an interviewee, and I'm sure you'll have him back. And because he has that relationship and he gave Aaron Rodgers that platform, then he can have something closer to that interview. It's a longer play with Pat McAfee.
It's smart.
Well, he has him every week, doesn't he?
Yeah, so next week you'll ask him about this fallout from his interview. The fact that Aaron Rodgers wants to reveal that much of himself on that platform, it's the only place that he feels comfortable doing so. That's Pat McAfee doing his job exceptionally well.
I will tell you that this show also has a relationship with Aaron Rodgers, and I have requested him for this week. So, Dan, perhaps you will have the opportunity to ask the questions you wanted to ask.
They're part of the woke mob, Dan.
Yeah, well, that's the part of it where I really do think that he could have gotten, if he was taking advice from PR people, which I don't imagine that he was, because he created an unholy mess for that franchise. Like, the coach is not equipped for that press conference and looked like a child with adults, like just didn't know what to do. And then you saw what he looks like, Stugotz, because good God, the power play in Green Bay that we've been obsessed with this season, that's what it's going to look like if you don't have that dude. Like, that franchise has been relevant because of that dude for 15 years, and everything else is a clown show. Everything else. Like, he's been dragging them to 10 or 11 wins. It's why I admire him so much. I'm like, good God, the way that position is played is not like that. That you don't have that mastery of the position. You don't in real time discover, you know what? Wow, turnovers, market inefficiency. I'm not going to make any of those as a quarterback anymore. Did that 5 years before anybody else. All this math in the sport that we're doing, Aaron Rodgers figured it out 5 years before anyone else. Hey, you can't turn the ball over the way Mahomes does. Not, you can't even be Mahomes and turn the ball over like that. And so he carried that franchise from Favre. The hardest thing. Look what's happened to Miami since Marino. It's the hardest thing to carry it after the guy.
Right.
He carried it after the guy. And now they disrespect him with all the Jordan Love stuff that you just saw yesterday. Oh, that's going to take a while. If it ever materializes at all. And he's going to take that power to the next 3 or 4 stops, and he's going to be more famous than he was, right? Because it goes popular, unpopular, more popular. Like, now he's got the narrative. Now he can go win a Super Bowl somewhere as somehow, in my lifetime, polarizing Aaron Rodgers.
But in the now, Dan, it is so disappointing. And it's not just Aaron Rodgers, but I think he has set the bar pretty high for himself as a guy who tells the truth, okay? He didn't do it here. But it doesn't stop there. It's the organization, it's the NFL, and specifically the organization that allowed Aaron Rodgers to trample that organization and do whatever it is he wanted to do. No, Dan, he put
except when he wants to not draft his replacement. Like,
but
yes,
Dan, put a mask on. Like, don't tell me you're vaccinated. You are putting people in harm's way.
Stugotz, this entire season has been... This entire offseason has been about Aaron Rodgers. I'm going to exert my power over every part of this organization, and all you guys are going to do is get me Randall Cobb. Okay. I'm going to be a quarterback. I'm going to be something I've never been in my career. During my bye week, I'm going to be the distraction.
But doesn't it seem like he's surrounded himself with sycophants at this point? because he clearly has gotten mad at every media publication for any version of criticism of him. He's gotten mad at his organization because they've tried to draft his replacement. He has clearly gotten to this place where, as a, quote, thinker, I thought Jonathan Jones of CBS did a great piece on this, where, wait, hang on a second, why do you get to be the thinker? Because you're the critical thinker, because you're the one who's not taking the vaccine and you've come with some alternate way to treat yourself. He thinks of himself in this way where he's immune to criticism to the point where he thought it was normal, cool, and on the level to do an interview with Pat McAfee in which he unveils the full allotment of anti-vax conspiracies
while
on a massive platform.
While saying he's not anti-vax.
And like you have to work yourself into the point where, as a famous quarterback, you're comfortable saying complete and utter nonsense in public, acknowledging that the NFL called you a quack because you're a quack. And like the idea that he's built himself up to this place, to me, suggests that he's surrounded himself for months with people who, oh yeah, Aaron, yeah, I listen to Joe Rogan too. Horse dewormer? Yeah, I'm in too. Like, he's clearly built this environment where it's only people who praise him that are around him.
This is going to sound like a joke, but serious question. Do you think he left that interview with McAfee and thought, I killed it? Because I think he does.
He certainly put himself forward in the way that he wanted to.
Yeah.
Like, he perfectly set forth his anti-vax while saying he's not anti-vax. It was pure textbook anti-vax. He put forward exactly what he wanted to, which is, yeah, I'm gonna make even more mainstream than Joe Rogan did this view about vaccines, this view about treating COVID.
I don't think he thinks that went poorly. As soon as it ended, I mean, now he might, but when it ended, I'm sure he's like, that's what I needed to do.
All of this becomes the crosshairs of the woke mob, but when you say sycophants, we are viewed as being among them. Because in cultivating his identity as a thinker, I have been complicit. I like talking to him about going to visit the Dalai Lama. I like talking to him about how he goes to the Hoffman Institute for therapy because he wants to understand where his patterns are in his family life, to understand why it is he hasn't loved himself more.
Not we. I said he was tanking, and he likes me a lot. I mean, he does.
And I understand why people are interested in our alignment with him, especially, and this is getting exhausting, this part of it, right? Every time, something like Masvidal happens, we like Masvidal, and then Masvidal proves to be QAnon, and we're like, oh, come on, we like you. We just want to do a show with you. It's funny. You're an entertainer. Why can't we just not do the whole overthrowing of democracy thing with, child-eating pedophiles? Can you stop just short of that?
And he's picking and choosing. He cited some study about how it's bad to work out with a mask on because of oxygen flow. It's like he trusts those studies. Okay. But the scientists who are studying the vaccine, that's not good enough for him.
And so this here right now, people listening to this, many of them, not just trolls, many of them, I want this part to be heard, because I understand when Aaron Rodgers raises his hand and says, not in my body, I will choose what goes in my body. I believe we all agree with that. And you listening to this, disagreeing with us as the echo chamber of soft wokeness, I just want you to understand, you don't believe in freedom more than I do. We might believe in it an equal amount, but you don't get to believe in freedom more than I do. And as we continue to argue about this stuff, and you want me to call Aaron Rodgers names, I want people to get along better than this. I don't want to fight about Aaron Rodgers. I don't want to fight around Aaron Rodgers. I'd like to enjoy Aaron Rodgers entertaining me on Sundays as much as you do. But we just left ESPN because politics and sports couldn't coexist. And I'm over here independent with my crew being like, can you leave us a fuck alone? Like, just leave us alone. We want to be talking about sports too. And this shit keeps happening at every turn, where you can't avoid Kyrie Irving and the fight that springs around him. When we actually want to get closer to enjoying sports right now, I don't want to be fighting with everybody over this stuff.
It's different with QAnon, which had real life consequences. With COVID, this is a show that has had 2 family members pass away from the disease, at least 2, from that virus. These are real life consequences, and it's real dangerous. And I want to continue hearing your thoughts, but I also don't want to lose sight of what the goal is here, is to have Chris Russo sound. So I will play just a flash of sound so you know how this sound begins, and then you can continue on with your thought. No, just a little sampler. No. There you go.
Oh my God, I need more. I need more.
No, this is how it starts.
Oh my God.
What do we think he's going to say? Where was what?
Where is somebody who needs to be responsible and blamed for this?
But that is the appropriate tone, I think, for Mad Dog Russo.
Well, this is Bradshaw did it. Bradshaw got so much applause for just calling Aaron Rodgers a liar. Yeah.
Bradshaw doesn't like Aaron Rodgers. There is something going on there. He has been anti-Aaron Rodgers for a while.
I actually thought the Football Night in America show did a good job last night. Tony Dungy and Drew Brees made a good point of like, well, if you're the quarterback of a team and you're unvaccinated, there's other quarterbacks who are unvaccinated. But then if you're going to go to a Halloween party and get COVID and now you're going to miss at least one game and you're in the hunt for a one seed, just from a football standpoint, it's incredibly irresponsible. You should be doing everything in your power to not get COVID if you're unvaccinated.
But at least Kirk Cousins told us he was unvaccinated.
And possibly Lamar Jackson also.
Right.
Carson Wentz wears a mask. Lamar Jackson wears a mask.
But Aaron thought he was safe. Like, that's what he told us. He thought he did what he needed to do to be safe.
And the NFL called him a quack and said you had to follow these protocols, and he didn't.
Because he thought that he knew better.
Well, okay, hang on a second.
Solution.
No, but he followed
what kind
them.
of rationalization is that?
He followed them behind closed doors. Every report that we've seen is that in the building, he puts the mask on, but in front of the public, he's got to put the public face on. Oh, no, I'm good. I'm immunized.
He was shying away from the criticism.
Do you think that he was putting on the mask to avoid fines or avoid punishments of some kind?
Well,
they told him you have to do this.
Okay, but I thought this was some great act of civil disobedience in the realm of Martin Luther King Jr. He's got to summon him in his rant. Yeah. Oh, some great act of civil disobedience, but in the quarterback meeting room, put the mask on. Like, come on.
The part of it that is inconsistent at best is, and man, Stugotz, when we can catch you on this one in sports, we love tearing down the heroes here. I don't know how he has rationalized to himself that he wasn't lying to us, but I don't know that there's much of a greater crime, Stugotz, honest to God, that an athlete of that kind of fame can do to harm his brand as a guy who's in the State Farm commercials as a representative for Americana than being dishonest. Like the best that you can say about it is he's got a flimsy camouflage for rationalizing away the inconsistency of like, no, dude, you were hiding with these opinions and this stuff, and you were wearing a mask. You were disguised in immunized, the word, and these opinions didn't make their way, unlike Kyrie, inconsistent though he is, flailing though he is, flat earth though he is, and you say you're somehow better because you're not a flat earther. You were hiding. He wasn't. You were concealed. He was not. So right. I don't want to do comparison shopping on their morality.
There's no comparison. One told us and one didn't.
I would just like for people to get along better and be less selfish and not be this divided and not fight over it. And that's not helping. What happened there is not helping because I don't need contrition for him. Lord knows I do not need contrition from him. But if you're just trying to do me the courtesy of playing out the public relations on it, all you had to do was stop talking a couple of notes before MLK and Joe Rogan and conspiracy talking points. You could have actually bought yourself if you cared about that stuff. And it's just disappointing to me that, now you're honest. Now you can be honest, and it's the woke mob's fault. Now it's my fault that you said immunized and you were wearing a mask. Now you can be flippant in a relaxed atmosphere. That part really bummed me out.
I feel him slipping away. I mean, I put an interview
I'd
request
love to talk to him.
No, but I feel it's slipping away.
I do. But this is the thing, though. I don't want
what Woody pointed out. He has a circle that reinforce his beliefs. And maybe with this segment, we've lost that.
He hugged me, though. I mean, I thought he was vaccinated. He wasn't. He hugged me. He brought me in closer.
Hugged him.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, wait a minute.
Deep
wait
embrace.
a minute.
Yeah. And I'm upset. I am.
I didn't realize that Stugotz got that close to the bosom of the line.
Oh, no. There was a hug, and then he brought me in even closer.
This is the part that bums me out, though. I don't want to fight with that dude, and I don't want to get aggregated fighting with that dude. And it's not because I don't want to lose the relationship. It's because I want to stop doing the math on all these things. Can we keep having Jericho on or not? It's kind of fun. He's a wrestler. Oh, he believes them things. Oh, damn it. We need to talk about that. Oh, no, we just need to draw the line at QAnon, Satan worshiping, eaters of children. That's the line. We could go, just don't cross that line. Oh, God damn it, Masvidal. Why'd you have to cross that line?
He got on the bus, too.
Can you just not, like, I want to continue to have a good, healthy, and in spots, I would love the stimulation of combative relationship with Aaron Rodgers if he wants to do freedom-thinking things, but I do think McAfee's got the better play. It's a better, it's a better play. Just let Aaron Rodgers come and talk and don't ask him those difficult things.
You think Aaron looks at me and sees a little bit of himself in me? I mean, any chance at all? Like, I thought he was closer to you in terms of personality and stuff, but perhaps he's me. He's Stugotz, and there's a little bit of Stugotz in everyone, Dano.
Love this show. Love this show. How does what Aaron Rodgers said on the Pat McAfee show impact us directly?
I'm worried
What does
about
it say about us?
But this is what people have been dragging us for the last, or me, really. It's not us, right? They want an explanation of me for our friend. They want me to explain. You explain what Aaron Rodgers thinks. I mean, he just explained it to you. He's been, the woke mob did force him to be more honest in that interview than we have heard on this subject before this.
I know what's going on here. I've been out there, man. I was publicly a Will Cain friend, and then he went on Fox News espousing all sorts of nonsense, and I haven't talked to him since. Let me tell you, look in my eyes, Dan. It's okay to be let down by your friends. Yeah. It's all right. Mm-hmm. It's okay. You don't have free reign over their lives. You want what's best for them, but I know right now you're kind of going through it too. You're in the crosshairs of the woke mob just because you're an ally of Aaron Rodgers. Right. You were prior to this new variable. But it's okay.
And that relationship has served me and us and our show. But the relationship is an on-air relationship. I've never met Aaron Rodgers. I've never picked up a phone and spoken to Aaron Rodgers in a place that's not within like 5 minutes before he's interviewed or after he's interviewed.
I thought you guys were a lot closer.
Right.
I'm like not backing. No, I don't.
He's way off air. I mean,
no, I do not want to back away from him either.
Sounds like I'm a lot closer.
Usually when you back up, we hear those beeps. Beep. Beep. Because you're big.
Oh, but that's the truth. The relationship has served us, but that's the truth. The truth of the relationship is we are friendly. We are professionally courteous. He's not my buddy. Like, you guys had him do a birthday message for me. That's the closest. That's the most heartfelt thing. Oh, and I had a conversation with him by direct message one time about Hawaii. That's about it.
I would just let the record show I have no relationship with Aaron Rodgers. I'm not part of this narrative. I wish for it to exclude me.
I mean, he's only gone on record saying he likes one member of the shipping container, and it's Billy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But he hugged Stugotz. Yeah, but again, he might have been trying to poison. He might have been trying to poison you, though. He might have been trying to kill you if there's a little Stugotz in everybody. Let's play that Chris Russo sound. It's the only reason we're doing any of this. We've yammered long enough. Here's what you actually want. It's why he's better at this than I am. God damn it.
Where was the mask when he met the media? Where was the mask? Where was the mask? When he went to that Halloween party, where was the mask? We killed Kyrie Irving last year for not wearing a mask when he was at that birthday party. We destroyed him, and nobody defended him. And now we're going to do the same thing with Rodgers. Where was the mask at the Halloween party? He was not vaccinated. Where's the mask? That's their league. If you want to play in their league, you follow their rules. He did not follow them. That needs to be punished. Why do you think the Green Bay Packers are being talked to by the National Football League? Because they did it right or they did it wrong? Because his teammates
actually care that he wasn't wearing the mask?
I don't care about the teammates. If I have to wear a goddamn mask when I go to an airport indoors and I can't live the life without a mask and I'm vaccinated, so should he.
Oh, God. Follow the rules,
He's
radio.
Right.
There, I mean, and he is right. Unfortunately,
if I have to follow the rules, he has to follow
the rules. and unfortunately, and that is Mad Dog Sports Radio, Sirius XM. Yeah, of course he's right. And as an added bonus, he's better at this than I am, because if you just shout again and again, "Where is the mask? Follow the rules," you too can parlay it into your own Sirius XM channel.
the grapefruits on the collar to not lay out for a Chris Mad Dog Russo rant. You know when you're in it that's going to be on social media. He kept going anyway.
You have to back away. Let him.
Yes, you have to lay out.
Team up and back
Have to
away.
lay out. Although I guess if
Just
you have
let him go.
Although if you have the personality to call into the Chris Mad Dog Russo show, you are feeling I'm going to go toe to toe here with the Mad Dog.
We can talk football from yesterday. And Mike, I don't know if you want to have this Odell Beckham conversation. I don't know what else the audience wants from me on Aaron Rodgers. I want
They want what Mad Dog did. I mean, that's what they
Bloodletting.
want.
They want blood.
Yeah, physically cut a pound of flesh from your body. So like a cheek.
I thought the backing up joke was enough.
Yeah.
I didn't think you need the beep beep beep. I thought worked strong enough. I
wasn't overly proud
no,
of it.
but I mean we're doing.
But a pound of flesh being a very small part of your anatomy, I thought.
Just a finger.
I thought that was unfair, and I could have done.
I
with
should have said one of your chins.
Wait, so you weren't proud of it, so you doubled down?
That's more than a
Wanted
pound.
to prove that I can operate on a higher level of wit.
I believe I contractually had it written in somewhere one incredibly not subtle fat joke per hour around here. Once you do two, I think it's getting cruel because it's 2021 and I'm tired of the body shaming and I've told you already, I'm going to start the hashtag #MooToo. Because I don't think it's fair that in 2021 that you guys are allowed to only body shame me. Yeah. That this is the only place that it's still allowed this kind of
fat Chris over here.
This kind of cruelty.
Poor Reaper last week.
Yeah. Oh, poor Reaper.
It's unfair.
Yes.
I demand equality for
unfair.
For
you were
fat
the one
men.
doing it.
I demand equality for fat men, and I'm going to gather them around.
But you did it.
And together with me because it's just I'm lashing out in self-loathing because you guys have normalized it's okay to fat shame the fat guy. It's the only place that's still allowed. Everywhere else comedy feels like it's going to be canceled. There you guys are totally comfortable.
Also excluding myself from this narrative.
Yeah, it's okay. I have a fat friend. Dan. That's 3.
Let's talk about the football from yesterday, Stugotz, because
pushing it. Really
the Bills and the Cowboys makes no sense.
It makes no sense. Football makes no sense at times. At times.
What was that? Okay, like I know there are all sorts of things that we don't know about football. For example, I did not know before last night that Jeffrey Simmons and Denico Autry, that those two guys had, according to Next Gen Stats, since week 6, those two guys for the Titans have had more pressures than anyone in the league. Mm-hmm. And you're talking about a team, right? Collinsworth said last night, Stugotz, and this was delightful. He said, strap it on. And I was like, strap what on? As I do to you. But he's like, when you play against Vrabel's teams, you know you got to strap it on. And I don't know what that means, and I know exactly what that means.
Right. It means that you better bring your A game because they are going to play at 120% every single week, regardless.
More than 110,
not
120%.
120, especially when Derrick Henry's not there.
Right.
Dan, I want you to think about this team. This team has beaten the Rams, and they beat them in L.A. This team has beaten the Buffalo Bills. This team beat the Chiefs. They beat the Colts at the Colts. They beat the Seahawks at the Seahawks. This team, you better strap it on when you play Mike Vrabel because that's what people are talking about, Dan. This team, regardless of who's playing, it doesn't matter who's injured. And they've been without Julio Jones, and now they're out without Derrick Henry. They've lost offensive linemen. They've lost guys on defense. But you know what they're going to do every single week? They're going to play hard. And they're going to bring
it. Stugotz has found his team.
They lost to the Jets.
You better match their intensity. They lost to the Jets.
Well, how else do you explain this team and Mike Vrabel? Because he has done a very good job since he's gotten there.
How do you explain the Jets?
I can't.
Doing that to
They didn't have A.J. Brown and Julio Jones that game.
Mike Vrabel. They look totally incompetent. But Stugotz just said, it doesn't matter if they have Derrick Henry. It doesn't matter if they have Julio Jones. They beat everybody except that one time against the Jets when it did matter that they didn't have those guys and they lost to the Jets.
Tannehill, he didn't blow up. He didn't melt down the way that Chris Whittingham alleged he might without Derrick Henry.
Whittingham has said enough with Tannehill.
I'm entrenched. I'm not changing my mind. Yesterday, pick 6 for the for the Titans, pick to the 2. Realistically, he put together 14 points of offense.
How
last
about
night.
Stafford being Stafford? How about Stafford being Stafford?
Yeah.
They might be the ones that are pretty. They've gotten fat the last 3 weeks on what? The Lions, the Jets, and the Giants, I think.
Try not to say fat.
Okay.
They've
had some easy victories.
It needs to stop. Hashtag Moo2. Let's see if we can get it started, Chris. Like this needs to stop. I demand that this.
Why are you going to Chris?
I demand that this joke stops.
Weird.
That
Whitney's just a beaten man. Like he's a guy who's in a bad relationship, and you don't need to take it on a Tannehill. It's okay. You've moved on from. Well, you're still in this relationship. That's actually why you're in.
Adrian Peterson.
You're still with the Dolphins.
AP.
That last night was funny. Derrick Henry goes out and they just go into retirement. It was fun yesterday. A number of things about yesterday were fun. Le'Veon Bell resurrecting whatever is the disposable running back position, a handful of running back. Christian McCaffrey, I'm sure that will hold McCaffrey. I'm sure that will hold up. That body will hold up well, I'm sure, continuing to take that pounding.
CMC, but can people do me a favor and stop praising Sean McVay and the Rams? I don't know who made the point, but it's a great point. They have one quality victory this year. It's against the Buccaneers. The schedule's been easy. Enough with McVay, and he'll fix Stafford. Together they'll go win a Super Bowl. They ain't winning crap.
All right, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. I'm pretty sure we could get sound of him saying they're the best team in the league at some point. But bad day for Stugotz yesterday. His top 5 Vikings power rankings, they're now 3 and 5.
Ooh.
Dallas Cowboys might be the best team in football. He has said that. That didn't look very good yesterday. Bengals are fixed. The Bengals are totally fixed now for the next decade, the last 2 weeks. That's just football happening to Stugotz, all of his opinions. When the Rams win the next 4 games, he'll be right back to Rams are the best team in football. He's trying to carve out the space. You know who's got this now, Mike? Cowherd. This happens to Cowherd a lot. He can't keep track of the things he said 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then he says the opposite. The
I
opposite
said 2
thing.
years ago, I'm keeping my eye on Sean McVay, and I've kept my eye on Sean McVay. He hasn't done anything.
But
I mean,
football,
seriously.
But football keeps happening to these teams.
I know.
And none of us had the Titans. Let's think about this for a second. So the Bills were a 14.5-point favorite. They lose.
Mm-hmm.
The Saints were a 7-point favorite. They lose. The Ravens were a 7-point favorite. They could have lost because Kirk Cousins is actually strategically good at the end of games. He might not be good at any other time.
But at the end.
He did enough that game. But defense let them down.
He suddenly turns into the best quarterback in the NFL.
But let's go around the league here. The Titans didn't need yesterday. If you got points yesterday, you were sailing because Denver was getting 10 points. Dallas is favored by 10, loses at home.
Mm-hmm.
You want to hear like my 1 week knee-jerk pivot? Because last week I was saying, wow, all the good teams in the NFL are in the NFC. What if, and this is Galaxy Brain, what if the AFC is just really good and they're beating the shit out of each other? Because if the Broncos beat the shit out of the Cowboys in Cowboys Stadium, in Jerry World, if the Jags are capable of upsetting the top seed in the AFC, I mean, if the Chiefs can get fat off of the NFC.
If the Titans can be a team that you're looking at and you're like, oh shit, they're more physical than everybody. Like they're in the passing age.
They are that team.
With or without Derek, you better strap it on.
Yep.
This is Stugotz. I love how
120%.
I love how Stugotz.
I've never gone there before.
This is the first time.
It's a percentage I've never said before.
Wow. You were willing to give. Hold on a second. This is a historic time.
Been waiting my entire life.
Do we have fanfare here for this? This cannot go unannounced. I hope the Titans lose the next 3 games, but Stugotz is now willing to give them the distinction. The Titans are the only team in the history of sports to be able and capable of playing so hard that they're giving 120%. so much to get to. Stugotz thinks the Chiefs should go after Odell Beckham. Mahomes coming off the worst performance you've ever seen from him, not being a threat. He doesn't throw that many times for 4-yard averages. That team looked offensively incompetent, not like it had 3 of the best skill guys you've ever seen. It's crazy to me, Stugotz, what the Patriots did for 20 years. When you consider Atlanta, how far Atlanta's fallen, not gotten back up. Philadelphia's fallen, not gotten back up.
Yep.
I'm not saying that this is Kansas City, but it's hard to stay up there. Look at the San Francisco 49ers. They were 6 minutes from beating that team. They had a lead in the fourth quarter. Jimmy Garoppolo makes one throw.
Yep.
One throw.
It's hard to stay up there when you have Josh Allen in the same conference, when you have Lamar Jackson in the same conference, when you have an up-and-coming Bills team and a Bengals team in the same conference, when you have Herbert in the same conference, when you have the Titans playing at 120% in the same conference. It's really hard to stay up there, man.
What happened in the last few months? You're like, when you have Josh Allen in your conference, you're outlining the reasons why they should be sitting atop that conference this entire time.
He was terrible yesterday.
Terrible.
Josh Allen was so bad. He was so bad you didn't need.
Which Josh Allen?
That's a good point.
Hey.
That's a good point. Yes.
Excellent point, because one, Josh Allen was spectacular.
Caused a fumble, an interception. Did he also recover a fumble? Had a sack. Josh Allen sacked Josh Allen. Josh Allen intercepted Josh Allen. Josh Allen caused a fumble by Josh Allen.
Josh Allen recovered a fumble from Josh Allen. He sacked and intercepted. Josh Allen was spectacular. And on the other side of the coin, Josh Allen was terrible yesterday. You don't need the all-22 to know exactly how bad Josh Allen was. That's how bad Josh Allen was.
Well, that's the stuff that has been coached out of him, right? I mean, he was just, when I assessed him as terrible, unable to play the position, it's because, good God, I've never seen arm strength like that. The arm talent is the best I've ever seen, period. I athletically, people bounce off of him. Athletically, Stugotz, he must be huge and strong in ways that are hard to fathom.
Yes.
Because what he does from the quarterback position behind the pocket is like best athlete on the field, mesmerizing. But I've kept waiting for that game and been wrong across like a season and a half. And Jacksonville is the one that pulls it out of him.
Is it weird to say that Dawson Knox is super important to what the Buffalo Bills do offensively? Because since his hand injury, he actually caught a touchdown with a broken hand, I believe. But he's been out, and they've changed their formations since he went out. Tommy Sweeney isn't just running Dawson Knox routes. They went to 4 wide receiver sets. And since then, the wide receivers have kind of been taken out of the game outside of like allowing Isaiah McKenzie to get his. The offense has been, prior to the last 2 weeks, prior to Dawson Knox, the number 1 offense in the AFC. And since then, they look so easy to shut down.
Put it on the poll, Guillermo. Should you let Isaiah McKenzie get his? There is football stuff we want to talk about.
By the way, there's old Belichick hanging around, just a half game out in the AFC East.
But
I'm getting tired of him.
All right, but let's just look at, in terms of passing totals,
right
so you understand what happened to Mahomes yesterday.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold threw for more yards yesterday in a game where Mac Jones didn't, because the Patriots did not win that game because Mac Jones was great.
No.
Mahomes threw for fewer yards than Darnold, and Darnold's going to get benched and lose his job. And I think, do I have this right? Was it Robbie Anderson who passed Sam Darnold on the sidelines and said some version of "God damn it, bro"? Like, just it was like, "You're terrible."
Yeah, Robbie Anderson was filmed on the sideline going at Sam Darnold repeatedly. He made a couple passes while yelling at Sam Darnold, and I'd like to think he's like, "God damn it, I came over here to escape you. I had a great year. Why'd you follow me here?"
And whether or not, Zach Wilson turns in or Mike White turns into a great quarterback, the Jets were right. They were right to get rid of Sam Darnold.
But
he is not good.
But they were wrong to draft him. As Tony Romo said, he had the chance to be the best of that crop because nobody knows anything.
Are you ready to build your entire team now around 35-year-old Josh Johnson? He was spectacular.
He was great.
Oh, he came so close to that
Great.
cover.
I know.
Oh my
know.
God! I was
Thursday Night
sitting on
Football.
sitting on a Jets +10 ticket. I was like 9 yards away from the cover to end all covers.
I couldn't tell.
Thursday Night Football was electric. It has been all season. No one's talking about how unsafe the games are this year because they've been awesome.
We will talk more football over the course of the show, but we have to get to Stugotz's weekend observations. We have to get to funniest thing from the sports weekend as well.
This Thursday, Ravens Dolphins. Not so awesome.
I mean, this is Lamar can win
I
the
wouldn't
MVP.
have thought Colts Jets would be awesome, Stugotz. And it's the game.
Right.
The uniforms don't matter if the game gives you something like scoring. I was bummed just covering some college football things that I want to get to. Whittingham, which was the game you were watching that moved you again because you love when the coach runs out for an injury? Which is the football game that you were watching? Cody, excuse me. I'm sorry.
No, it was Vrabel. This guy. There's nothing better. It's a coach that shows you that he cares. All right, it's a little. I think he might be doing it just for the cameras. I'm not gonna be honest, but it works. Because name another. I think actually last night we were watching the two if I say to you coaches that run out to their player when they're injured, I think it's Vrabel and McVay.
Yeah.
Those player coaches, it's just something about it. It just looks good.
It's why that team plays at 120% every week for him. I mean, seriously.
Put it on the poll.
Yeah.
He's stuck there. He's sort of like there's a glitch in the matrix. Stugotz doesn't have anything other than that.
Do.
I've announced that someone was playing at 120% clip and we need to stay there at every turn. It's the only analysis he has for anything. Put it on the poll, Guillermo, at Batard Show. Do you like a coach more when he runs out on the field to attend to an injured player?
He gets down on one knee, puts a hand on the shoulder. It's just such a good look.
You know who's the best ever at it? Bob Huggins. I mean, Bob Huggins would run
That
out
can't
there.
be
He
the
would
best
hug you.
ever.
He would
There's
embrace you.
so
He did
many-
it
Getting
against
down
Huggy
on
Bear.
one knee?
Huggy Bear. I mean,
Okay, so many college basketball players are giving him the opportunity. You can't go college basketball as the best ever coach running on the field
I
to
think
attend
when
to an
you
injury.
think of a coach running out to comfort a player that's been injured, you think Bob Huggins.
You're just
You
saying
do.
that because his name has Hug in it.
No.
Oh, he wanted to say Huggy Bear. It was just
That's all he was trying
it's
to
all
do,
he was
set
trying to
himself
do.
up.
When I think of sympathetic carer of players, I do not think of Bob Huggins.
Put it on the
Just
poll,
go
watch the
Guillermo.
video.
When you
That's
think
it.
of a sympathetic carer of players, do you think Bob Huggins? Stugotz,
I think tracksuit. That's all I think.
That's yes.
And maybe a cocktail.
And a
Don't hug me.
scowl.
Don't hug me. That
Yeah, don't-
tracksuit gives
don't
off
touch
something.
me.
Unfair what you're doing.
And
to
don't
Huggy.
try to get me to talk about my parents. Just leave me alone. I don't want to talk about it. That's what comes to my mind. Just corner of the bar.
Hey, hug that
Don't
poor
talk
kid.
to that guy. If the line, courtesy of our friends over at DraftKings right now for Thursday Night Football, is 7. The Ravens are traveling
now.
to put it in now. The Ravens are traveling to Hard Rock
Yeah,
Stadium.
do you guys know this is how football
A little
gets you? Did
fishy.
you guys not learn what you
Tua
just
playing?
saw?
Dolphins in prime time
Okay.
have
Short
gotten
week.
smashed
Explain
every
to me
single
why.
time.
Explain to
they've
me
done.
why the Browns were a 2-point underdog only at Cincinnati yesterday. Explain to me
Narrative.
what happened there.
My lock
Explain
of
to
the
me
year.
what happened
I mean-
Dallas Denver. Explain to me what happened Bills Jacksonville. Explain to me what happened Saints and Falcons. Explain to me what happened Titans and Rams.
All right. Simeon probably happened in New Orleans, although he put him in position to win, and Odell's gone. And that's why the Browns are good. They've shown that they're always good when Odell's gone.
Addition by subtraction.
Yeah. But so the line's 7 for Thursday Night Football. If I told the Ravens that they couldn't leave the field after winning in overtime against the Minnesota Vikings, you have to stay in your pads. This is your home until we board the plane to Hard Rock for the next few days. You're not allowed to see your family. You can we'll maybe bring sandwiches out to you.
Can we change clothes or anything? They're living at the
they
stadium.
will wear the same uniforms. They will put their pads back on. They will board a plane. They will go into Hard Rock Stadium and play the Dolphins. Do you think the Ravens will win that football game?
If they were starved, I think they would win. If they didn't eat any food between Sunday and Thursday, they would still win.
They were
You
fast.
guys learned nothing
cover?
from yesterday. They barely won yesterday. They won 4 games this season by like a 66-yard field goal by Justin Tucker. They could just as easily be 3-5.
I mean, I would take the Dolphins in this circumstance. Look at me. Like when the Browns are missing a right tackle, I freak out.
The Lions almost beat them. Tucker is the only reason.
They should have. In my personal record book, the Lions did beat the Ravens.
You can say that about most of the league, though, Dan. I mean, a lot of these games have been close.
All I'm saying is, yes, there are a lot of games all over sports that are close. Scott Frost at Nebraska, Stugotz, his record in the last 23 games that they have played that are one-score games, because they played a lot of one-score games, 5-18.
Right.
That
Could just as easily be 18-5.
I mean, you could do a lot of that. There's a lot that can be done throughout football in that sport. But you're an idiot if you think the reason to bet the Ravens there is because you think the Ravens are going to win. You're a moron. You didn't learn anything from what you just saw yesterday, because I was sure when I pulled it out of the bucket of death that the Bills were going to win yesterday. I was like, they're not going to lose. That team had a 20-game losing streak that was ended only because they got to play the Dolphins. That team's terrible.
And they were injured on defense yesterday.
You don't have the means, the intellect. You don't have the ability to explain to me how Jacksonville won that game yesterday. You don't have it. Josh Allen wasn't hurt. He was poop. He kept fumbling and throwing dumb passes, and it didn't make any sense what was happening out there.
So you're saying the Dolphins have a chance? Is that because they don't? I mean,
I'm saying because football. I'm saying that very often on weekends I will bet the opposite of what I think is going to happen, because I don't trust that what I think is going to happen has any realm of reality in it.
I'll go with you on every other game. I'm going to, this coming week, I'm going to bet the opposite of what I think is going to happen. And I think I'll do reasonably well, except with the Dolphins in prime time. Because I know that the Dolphins will be down 30-7 on Thursday night. I'm 100% certain.
How quickly? Halftime?
Mid-third.
Okay.
Did you say what did you shout there, Cody?
I'm going to go Dolphins now. He just guaranteed it. That's just a dangerous game in this league.
But of course I would say the same thing. I would say exactly the same thing. But what sense does Kyler Murray not playing on Colt McCoy riding out on a horse? Put it on the poll, Guillermo. Should Colt McCoy enter all places riding in on a stallion?
Tony yesterday put in a chat, hey guys, this guy, Colt McCoy starting, no Kyler Murray, lock in the Niners. I recommend it to other people. Lock in the Niners.
Tony's arrogant better guy. He also now has proclaimed the Dallas Cowboys a fraud. Dallas Cowboys a fraud. That's not football happening to the Dallas Cowboys. But what sense does that make? Dak Prescott comes back. Hey, let's have 0 points all game. Oh, we traded Von Miller, by the way. And we got 0 points. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to Teddy you to death. It's just going to be Teddy, field goal. Teddy. Oh, look, Teddy. Field goal, Teddy.
An 11-yard pass to Cortland Sutton made the highlights last night for the Broncos.
Teddy wants a 99-play drive that starts the game and ends the game. Just one.
And so does Fangio.
Just all. Yes, both
Complimentary
he and
football,
Fangio.
Daniel.
Yes, they want to petition the league to eliminate halftime so they could just have the ball all game, throwing 2-yard passes and hoping not to get called for a chop block.
Two running backs over 85 yards rushing is basically ideal for them.
Yep. Dream game yesterday for him. I mean, 41 carries, 190 yards. I mean, that is a Fangio game right there.
Fangio. There was a camera shot on the red zone one time where they showed him and he wasn't wearing any pants. He's just lassoing him over his head. So he's so happy. He befuddled McCarthy. How does that happen? You're watching. You know that offense.
I mean, befuddling McCarthy doesn't seem that tricky.
That's okay. Bad timing in the way.
Dak Prescott.
I put it on the poll at Levitard Show, Guillermo. Does Mike McCarthy always seem befuddled?
Always.
Fair enough.
Can you imagine that guy walking in the supermarket during the COVID protocols where they had an arrow pointing one way in one aisle and an arrow pointing the other way? I imagine he was just frozen there for 30 minutes.
Football.
Again, no. It's not just that the Dallas Cowboys of Dak Prescott look like a spaceship of some sort, right? Where it's CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper, and you're like, oh my God, those guys are really strong and big and fast, and probably can't be covered by those little the little guys who are running after them.
The skill and speed on the outside. Meanwhile, in the trenches, they're beating the holy hell out of you with a great offensive line that's super physical.
Except that you can't do anything against Denver when they trade Von Miller, and Fangs is on the
Galvanized.
other sideline. He's coming at you with Teddy.
And he's running the ball. I
What are you
mean,
gonna do?
4
Yes,
yards a
it's,
carry.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and he's going to be up 30-0 at one point.
Players apparently play super free when they don't have to worry about paying for Von Miller's Halloween party.
Dak Prescott, they got rid of that farter Von Miller, and it cleared out the clubhouse. Von Miller, fined legendarily in his Broncos career for farting in meetings. They get rid of him, and look at the cloud that is lifted from the Denver Broncos as they go into Dallas and befuddle Mike McCarthy, who this morning wakes up and thinks to himself, how did that happen? What happened? I've got great players.
That's every morning, though.
Is it every morning? Okay. We're going to get to Stugotz's weekend observations in a second. I can't believe it took me this long, though, to get to this story I know Billy wants to talk about. So here it is, Stugotz.
All right.
I believe this is Vin Diesel on Instagram. My little brother, Dwayne.
Bad start.
I thought so too. The time has come. Now, if you know some of this backstory here, Dwayne Johnson was put off by how seriously Vin Diesel takes himself and this franchise. And I basically vowed publicly to never work with Vin Diesel again, right?
Well, there was news recently of a bit of a reconciliation between the two of them. Now, this Instagram post that you're reading might indicate that things might not be all the way back yet if we're going to Instagram to try to get The Rock to rejoin the Fast franchise.
But part of the backstory, is it not, that Vin Diesel considers this his franchise? The Rock goes into every franchise saying, this is my franchise. I'm the one that matters here. The Rock is viewed as publicly humble, or more humble than Vin. And the back and forth is who's the star of this, correct? Isn't this Vin regards this as, no, I'm the movie star here.
Yeah. I mean, it is one of the most successful franchises ever. But you know what? Everybody's played a part. Tyrese has played a part. Luda's played a part. Paul Walker, Pastascanza has played a part. Everybody's played a part.
For the audience, though, what are the juiciest parts of the details between them where Dwayne was put off in the reporting of it? Dwayne is put off by, wasn't Vin Diesel trying to get him to like method act or taking it way too seriously, where Dwayne's going to be professional, but he's not going to buy in on all the Fast and Furious nonsense.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Vin Diesel thought that people would see Dwayne as just The Rock and not as Hobbs. And to Vin Diesel, I'd say it doesn't matter. But Vin Diesel seems to disagree. So he wanted to teach him, bring him under his wing, like a little brother, you know, who's like probably 3 times his size and takes shit bigger than him. But aside from that, a little brother.
Put it on the poll, Guillermo. Does Dwayne Johnson shit bigger than Vin Diesel? My little brother, Dwayne. The time has come. The world awaits the finale of Fast 10. As you know, my children refer to you as Uncle Dwayne in my house. There's not a holiday that goes by that they and you don't send well wishes, but the time has come. Legacy awaits. I told you years ago that I was going to fulfill my promise to Pablo. I swore that we would reach and manifest the best Fast in the finale. That is 10. I say this out of love, but you must show up. Do not leave the franchise idle. You have a very important role to play. Hobbs can't be played by no other. I hope that you rise to the occasion and fulfill your destiny. What does it mean, Fast and Furious
Powerful
Meadowlark
stuff.
correspondent?
That's powerful, is it not? Do you think he's going to come back? I think the little brother at the beginning, kind of not a great start. I think he may have stepped in it. I was looking it up. He's 5 years older. I guess that's why he considers him a little brother. I don't know how I feel. I mean, I think we should all be sad, right, that we're coming to the end of the Fast franchise, are we not? The good news is when you read this, you see like, oh, wow, Fast 10, that's it. But good news, Fast 10 is in 2 parts. So it's really like Fast 10 and Fast 11. So there's 2 more, but they're doing it back to back. So we really need to kind of resolve this situation now.
It's apparent when you go to Vin Diesel's IMDb that he's eager to get going on filming this thing because he has no other projects in which he's front facing.
Oh, he doesn't need to. I mean, he's generated like the 7th most money all time at the box office.
Yeah,
He's like
because of
super
Fast.
duper loaded. Yeah, he doesn't need to work
and
ever
he's
again.
and he's got a producer credit, but it's the only money maker that he has. He's a historic flop in the box office with anything else. With anything else that he does.
You just
Meanwhile-
need one
I mean,
line.
that's why-
Guardians of the Galaxy was pretty successful.
He's a voice. Anybody could do it.
Tell that to Buzz Lightyear.
Mhm.
It's a voice.
All right.
I would say in the way that they regard
But Buzz Lightyear has dialogue. All he says is, "I am Groot."
Well, he is.
That's Vin Diesel.
Put it on the poll, Guillermo at Levitard Show. Did you know I Am Groot was Vin Diesel? I think what's funny about all of this is when you step back from it, Stugotz, Dwayne Johnson is somebody who, jumps off and into skyscrapers. He has made just a mountain of movies and a mountain of money. He is America's biggest.
Recently, a mountain of crap.
Okay, but he made a lot of crap in between and was
Taking out all
able
the thespians
was
today.
able to make plenty of money and have a lot of hits. Our biggest stars in the action realm are 50, 60, 70 years old. Liam Neeson's still out there doing it. And in this realm, The Rock has outgrown just the action thing. Vin Diesel has not. Was Boiler Room what introduced us to Vin Diesel?
Wait a minute.
I
The
believe
Rock
so.
has outgrown action. What is he doing that's not action?
Oh,
The XFL.
I'm
Oh,
not-
please, that's
just,
gonna flop.
Oh, but just
Talking about
I feel
flops.
like a
the XFL.
senatorial
It's a
run
good
is on its
question.
way.
It's a good question, Dan.
He wants to run for president, and that would be the dumbest thing The Rock
You're
could
acting
do.
like he does Hamlet.
Yeah,
I mean,
come on. get
Tommy
out of here.
Tuberville's a senator in Alabama.
Maybe he's this great
he
method
did the
actor.
Tooth Fairy. He did do the Tooth Fairy.
Got a rap career.
Yeah, he's this great method actor that this whole time he's been acting as an action star to be an action star when he's really not.
In Ballers, he's not an action star. He makes a lot of stuff, and some of it is bad, but he is the biggest movie star in the world and has been for a long time. Vin Diesel has this one franchise that is it also it is the biggest franchise in the world. So
Yeah.
in their superhero galaxies, there's no one better than Vin Diesel, and of course he would condescend The Rock for coming and visiting his world.
Did you know that he called Paul Walker Pablo?
I learned it while reading this from Instagram.
It was beautiful. There was video of Vin Diesel walking Paul Walker's daughter down the aisle. Like, they really believe the family stuff.
They do believe the family stuff. They sell the family stuff, but they believe that Dwayne isn't a part of the family, evidently. But now
No,
they need him.
They want him to be part of the family, but he doesn't want to be part of the family. Dan, tale as old as time. The prodigal son. Will he return? Who knows? We'll find out, I guess, right?
I don't know whether it's wrestling or not because it seemed real. I hope that it's real, that it's egos and vanities, and that Dwayne Johnson says, I will never work with Vin Diesel again. He's a clown. I will not be condescended by Vin Diesel. But
I mean, he works with Kevin Hart, please.
I hope that it's that, but I think it's going to end up being wrestling. I think this is a great way to promote the movie, to pretend like these two guys hate each other. No?
How dare you? You think that this is a fake beef, a fief? That's not what's going on here. These two don't get along, but they need to. It's
Right.
destiny. It says it right there on the Instagram. Right there.
It seems like Dwayne doesn't want to be part of. He's above the family.
Get over
which-
yourself, Dwayne.
Exactly.
Please.
Yeah.
Enough. Dave Bautista's a better actor than you are.
Whoa.
Wow.
Whoa. Put it on the poll, Guillermo, at Levitard Show.
Davey Bats.
Is Dave, I don't think they call him that. Is Dave Bautista, I don't know why. Do you even know who Dave Bautista is? Why did
Nope.
you? Okay, excellent.
I just know Joey Batista is Joey Bats. Davey Bats.
It's, Jose Batista. But you call him Joey Bats, so I can see the confusion.
Yeah.
Did you just want to be a part of the conversation?
Of
where
course I did.
Okay. Time now for Stugotz's weekend observations.
You don't know that he
It is
doesn't.
time for Stugotz to share his game notes. No one in the media will tell you what happened better than my boy Stu.
Dan, before yesterday, had you asked me if he was still playing, I honestly would not have been able to answer with any sort of confidence. But after going 22 of 26 for 249 yards with one touchdown and no interceptions while leading the Cardinals, who were without DeAndre Hopkins, to a convincing 31-17 road win over San Francisco. Dan.
Lock it in, says Tony. Lock
Make
in the
no
49ers.
mistake about it. Colt McCoy
Yes.
is back.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yes. This while Cordero Patterson is 27% of the Falcons' touches.
If someone asked you yesterday, Colt McCoy retired,
I wouldn't have guessed. I would not have guessed that Colt McCoy was the quarterback, the backup quarterback in Arizona. But Colt McCoy will be doing that again in 10 more years.
the Oklahoma City Thunder are 2-6 this season. Their only 2 wins have come against the Lakers. So you, of course, know what that means, Dan.
They have the Lakers number.
Wow, look at you. You are 100% right. That's impressive. You're on it this morning.
It's not really.
OKC. Joe Flacco in street clothes on the sidelines Thursday night. Looked like he could have been one of 4 things: a quarterback in street clothes, a male model, Secret Service, or a statue.
Right, yes.
He is so good looking, man.
Is he?
I mean, the Jets traded a pick to get him to stand on the sidelines in street clothes.
Just to be good looking around the scent that the Jets give off. To be smoldering, Joe Flacco.
He's a good looking
Put
man.
it on the poll. Is Joe Flacco smoldering?
It doesn't do it for me.
Doesn't for
Really?
me either. I don't.
Call her
Wow.
cousin Greg.
Stugotz has a type, and it's Joe Flacco. He has a type.
Yeah, perhaps.
Long neck.
And Tony.
Only Tony.
Not only Tony.
Dan.
You literally just finished saying Joe Flacco.
I know.
He doesn't
The
listen. To,
quickest
he
one of
doesn't
your
listen.
lives
I'm not
is
keeping
unraveled.
track.
He doesn't listen to what he says. He doesn't.
You guys
it's
just keep
not-
advancing stuff. I mean, I'm trying to do
just trying to
observations
keep
here.
up.
I mean,
yeah.
you know.
Yes, I can't remember what I said.
What I
last-
said a minute
last
ago doesn't
sentence.
matter. A minute
It wasn't
later.
a minute. It was
Yes.
like it was the
It was
What I
previous.
said
it
30
was the
seconds
previ-
ago.
It was
The past
previous
is the past.
thought.
I mean,
it was the previous.
Let's deal in the now.
thought
That's where
you
I
had.
am.
It was just the previous.
I'm always in the now, Dan.
Yeah, you are. I think when I think of
30
presence,
seconds ago was
yes,
Flacco.
When I
Now
think
it's
of that's
Tony.
it. Put it on the poll. When you think meditative enlightenment that comes from staying in the present, do you think of Stugotz?
I mean, a year ago, Mahomes was great. And now?
That's right.
A year ago, Rodgers was sane. And now? Stay in the now,
Yeah,
Dan.
it wasn't the previous sentence, is what I'm saying. That came out of your own mouth. Is all.
Dan,
Yes.
never underestimate the power of a players-only meeting.
You mentioned that already.
I drove down there on Saturday night just to tell you that. I told you. It's the first thing I told you when I walked in the
It is.
doors.
It is how Stugotz said hello to me. It really was. Dan, that Celtics players only meeting. And now they want to get in the game for Ben Simmons. The reports are the Celtics. Please make that a rivalry that matters again. Celtics and Heat. Please.
LeBron James, here's an idea. Stop worrying about Odell Beckham Jr. and start worrying about your team and your season. Out of nowhere, the Miami Hurricanes are fun. They have a quarterback and a wide receiver with the last name Rambo. That, Dan, is how you become fun. Tyler Van Dyke saving Manny Diaz's job 1 game at a time. Vanny Dimes. Offensive tackle Jack Conklin was out for the Browns.
Chris Cody, what happened there? What happened? Did you muffle some barf on Vanny Dimes?
I mean, we heard a lot of these takes in the local hour, so he's just rehashing them.
Offensive tackle. Live in the now, Chris. Offensive tackle Jack Conklin was out for the Browns. I only bring that up.
He's reheating his crap from the local hour. He couldn't cross it out or not repeat it.
Nope.
He just same. Okay.
They've already been written, Dan.
Yeah, understood. But they didn't need to be used. You were the one doing the local
I'm
hour.
not rewriting.
You're in. You're in. Once
I'm in the now.
What?
You're in the past. I mean, let's
What?
all try to stay in the now, please.
I was all right. Yes, that's fine.
I'm going backwards. I'm going
do.
forwards.
You are Eckhart Tolle. You are
Thank
the
you.
power of now.
I've never mentioned Jack Conklin before in my entire
You
life.
are
I'm about to.
a spiritual leader. That's what you are.
Offensive tackle Jack Conklin was out for the Browns. I only bring that up to point out if your name is Jack Conklin, there's a pretty good chance you're going to be a tackle. So, do you have kids, Mr. Conklin? Yeah. We have a son named Jack. Oh, Jack Conklin. So he's going to be a tackle.
That's right.
That's the conversation.
That's right. That's so true.
Thank you.
Can he be a guard or no?
No, he has to be a tackle.
Okay. Can he be a center?
Nah, Jack Conklin has to be a center. Mike Webster has to be a tackle. Mike Webster, more a center's name, if you know what I mean. He was an actual center.
Yeah.
Felt the need to point that out.
Thank you.
You got it. Wake Forest, the rare 55 burger with a side of loss.
That was such a fun game.
The Deeks,
So ridiculously fun.
double nickel. Cincinnati, do you know what Alabama would do to Tulsa? Seriously. It's not enough with the style point. Cincinnati has no business making the playoff. 0. Wake Forest, it was fun while it lasted. State Farm, if my neighbor acted like this, I'd punch him in the face.
Wow.
Well, why? What? What happened? You wouldn't? Hey, like a good neighbor. I mean, tell me you're vaccinated, you're not vaccinated. I'm hanging out in your backyard. I mean, you're hugging me, and then all of a sudden I find out you're not. That's not a good neighbor. You know who's a good neighbor? The Hawaii Rainbows. They are always there for me at midnight, plus 7.5. Oh, that was great. Saved my entire weekend. Tough loss on the over, though. Tough. Parlayed it. Tough.
That's what you have to do. Hawaii and the over.
I've done it forever, Mike. I'll never stop doing it. You do Hawaii straight, then you do Hawaii in the over.
Hawaii
right?
in the over. I'm taking Hawaii. It's Hawaii.
But Hawaii
and the
is
over.
straight first.
Hawaii in the over.
You would never bet that game and take the other team, would you? People don't do that.
Hawaii in the over.
It's just basically all you're hoping for is did the island breeze get to the opponent and the flight? But I want to ask you guys, would you guys, for Whittingham and Mike Ryan, who aspired to the Miami program not being all the way back, but merely being Texas A&M, would you be fine with your program only being associated in its identity with people bet me late on Saturday night as a chaser? Would you be okay? Because that's been their identity since before Colt Brennan.
Yeah.
Yep.
Timmy Chang and them boys.
Oh, Timmy
Yeah,
Chang.
no, Hawaii is my second favorite football team because of the special spot in my heart that they reside, which is always Hawaii in the over.
So you're basically saying, do you want the University of Miami to move as far west as possible?
No, just
so
to
that they're
have-
playing games at 3 a.m.
No, just to have an identity. Would that suffice for you as a brand? Because that's Hawaii's brand.
Sure, I'm in.
We have an identity. We're jokes. We always say how back we are, and then we beat ourselves up in the stands.
Right. The Rainbows are a good neighbor.
Very
Right.
clear.
Yeah.
We'll have sex in porta potty bathrooms at West 32, and get married
While,
there.
while a wedding was going on, I walked past it this Saturday. I was like, wow, a wedding took place here.
God,
We have
so
a very
foul.
crystal clear identity. We talk a bunch of shit. We never back it up. None of us went to the school. Next.
Except for Whittingham,
yeah, and
who
look
went
at
to
him.
the school
Well,
and the game.
Because most of the people that went to the school are like Whittingham.
What is that supposed to mean?
That is an insult to both you and me.
Whoa.
Wow.
What is that supposed to
What
mean?
does it mean, Mike?
What does it mean?
Explain.
What does it mean?
You know. You know.
It means someone who goes to the game on Saturday and has not a single beer.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what that means.
Dry football game.
killer.
Loved it.
Really?
You can't really
I
provide.
can't watch a University of Miami sober. I cannot.
Can you watch any football game? Like, can you attend a football game and not have a
And
drink?
then when he's like, I just like watching football. I'm like, this guy.
Oh, boy.
I love looking at coverages. Love looking at route trees.
You can do that after a couple high noons, Woody.
I see better. I see the field so much better after taking a shot from the ice luge that is in the West 32 parking
They
lot.
have one of those?
Yeah. It's finally back.
You
a year
can't get
away.
married there. There is no way that woman's dress didn't end up soaked in mud, correct? Soaked at the bottom with mud. There's no way that she got out of there clean, right?
It's probably in one of the 140 garbage bags that surround the trash can, the communal trash can.
Yeah.
That wedding dress is there.
The Broncos are better without Von Miller. It's amazing. Excuse me, $5. How much taller Baker Mayfield is when he's throwing to Donovan People-Jones, DPJ.
It's Peoples Jones.
Whatever.
That's the rare thing. Old people usually add an S.
Live
they
in the
don't.
present.
Brett Favre's.
How much do I owe?
You owe $5. You don't get fined for names. I get fined for names, but you do get $5 for coughing into the mic or clearing your throat.
Oh, I have a
mic.
5 today. How about
If you were
that?
casually
Very
walking
impressive.
from West 32 and you saw a wedding dress on the floor somewhere or in a garbage bag, I would think nothing of it.
I would think nothing of underwear for sure.
Wedding dress on the floor. That means wedding night started early. Am I right?
In the porta potty.
I mean,
Baby. The Cowboys are better without Dak Prescott. Haven't confirmed yet, but hearing Tua somehow fractured his middle finger, holding it up too long at the Dolphins organization. The Cardinals are better without Kyler Murray. Sixers, 8-2, best record in the East, winners of 6 straight. Has anyone checked in on Ben Simmons? Raiders.
Boston has, apparently.
Yeah, Boston,
Yeah,
the
you're right.
Celtics, Brad Stevens has.
Raiders. Not for real. Heat Jazz had an NBA Finals feel to it, even though I was at Moss and didn't watch a single second. But I was driving there and it felt like NBA Finals traffic. That's why it had the feel. Thank you for pointing that out.
It was
Mike.
just traffic, Stugotz.
It was a lot of traffic,
It
Dan.
wasn't NBA Finals traffic.
Oh, it
was
felt
just-
like
was
NBA
just-
Finals traffic.
Just
just
Saturday
Brickle.
traffic.
It was a big game.
It's Brickle Saturday traffic.
If you say so. I mean, you're telling me it had nothing to do with Heat Jazz 7:30 on a
Stugotz,
Saturday
you-
night?
You don't go.
Finals
When's the
preview?
last time you were in downtown Miami on a Saturday night?
In a minute, Dan.
You were scalping tickets. You never used any of your tickets. 2010,
Right.
LeBron James.
I went to that Orlando game, second game of the season.
That's the last time you've been
Yeah.
downtown
It
Miami.
was the first home game. Yeah.
It's just Saturday nights, Stugotz. It's not Parkland.
All right. I mean, I was there Saturday night. That was the last time. Stay in the now, Dan.
but you didn't show up till like 9:30. Like I feel like for the
That's not
people that
true.
arrived on time, the traffic was probably a factor.
I hit traffic. I hit NBA Finals traffic. What do you want from me? Panthers, Hurricanes had a Stanley Cup vibe to it.
You didn't watch that game either. That
I
was
hit
also
Panther
Saturday
traffic
night.
as well.
And
I
also,
mean,
they're
He
both
lives so
in the
far that
Eastern
he hit
Conference.
both. But he hit both. He lives so far that he could hit both traffic.
I did hit both.
They're both in the Eastern Conference. It's impossible to have a Stanley Cup vibe.
It
to
had that feel to it.
Prince of Wales vibe.
It
to
had
it.
the feel, Mike. You
It
can't
did.
argue with the feel of it, even if it.
I drove past the arena. Did you?
Panthers
I mean,
game started at 6 p.m.
That's when I left my house.
That is about again proving our point all the more. I was gonna make my first. I texted Mike this. I was gonna make my first hockey bet ever on the Panthers to win by more than a goal and a half. And I look up and I'm going to make the bet, and I'm like, it's 4-0. And I'm like, bleep, they started early.
You love that plus juice, huh? Those minus 1.5 in hockey. They never hit.
You're right. It's the dumbest.
I want to bet it every
gambling.
time. Minus 1.5 in hockey, plus 200.
I was just trying to bet on the idea of can we get excited about hockey for real? Like, are they going to smoke one of the teams that they're not supposed to smoke? And good God, like that. It's not just that they haven't lost, Stugotz. It's that they've got an indisputably a good hockey team
Yes.
that just lost their coach in an unspeakable scandal and have not been derailed by it.
They're a very good team. Chris, do you do that with baseball? Where you'll bet the minus 1.5 just to get the money down because you don't want to lay 240 on the Dodgers to win at home?
I try to avoid baseball at all costs. but
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
I do that. I love the plus. Anything plus juice, man. I love it.
Anthony Davis, I challenge you to go a single game without something popping up. Play basketball, man. Jesus. It's always something with him. I mean, it feel good. This hurts. LeBron's not here. Just play basketball. You get paid a lot of money. Also, do me a favor. Win an NBA title outside of a bubble. The V in Verstappen. Do you know what it stands for, Dano?
Victory.
Vroom, vroom.
Oh, I forgot.
How could you?
Big weekend for Checo, too. Third Mexico Grand Prix.
Do you have a minute?
I don't.
Really?
Grand Prix.
Verstappen, like, he's gonna win this thing. It's a changing of the guard, Stugotz, in F1. He's 19-point lead going into 4 races left on the calendar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who was the old guard?
Lewis Hamilton,
How many points for a victory?
25.
Okay.
Verstappen's car has so much pace. Like, the Red Bull just has a faster car this season.
Vroom, vroom.
I mean, Lewis said it after the race. He was like, they were 16 seconds off.
Looks like we need an injury.
Or some funny business.
Oh, wow.
Well, I wouldn't rule out
love
any
a little
funny business.
Good big fan
There's
of
been some
business.
funny business this season. That's
How
for sure.
so?
Billy, I'll tell you about it after the show.
Wow. Big secret.
No, I mean, I don't want to completely, detour during your weekend observations, Stugotz.
If the committee was actually interested in doing their job, they'd give serious consideration of putting Purdue in the playoff. The spoiler makers.
I wanna
mean,
ma-
they had 2 top 5 victories.
If that's not a thing, I want it to be a thing. Jessica used that phrase the other day, spoiler makers. Is that something that they're called? Because it's
Yes.
great if they're. It's a great nickname for them because that's what they exist to do.
The P in Purdue stands for pain in the ass of any team that has to play them if they're ranked.
Mm-hmm.
They're the spoiler makers.
The wide receiver, is it David Bell? Is he?
Yes.
He now just got into the Heisman conversation? Did he not?
How do they beat top 5 teams in the country twice a year, but they can't beat Illinois to win the Big Ten?
It's the Big Ten.
They are the only team in college football history to win multiple games against top 5 teams while being unranked by double digits in the same season.
How does Illinois beat Minnesota? I don't understand anything.
Illinois
that's
beat Penn
happening in
State.
that
Illinois
conference.
having the
You had the Gophers,
weirdest
too?
Illinois season.
Look, I don't understand anything that happened. I don't understand. Everyone can beat everyone else in that conference,
Right.
and Ohio State isn't clearly as good as Ohio State has been.
Mm-hmm.
And now I want Purdue to wipe the floor with Ohio State too while you're at it.
I think Ohio State actually is pretty good. Nebraska is one of the better 3-8 teams.
Oh, for the love of God!
I swear to God.
They could just
For
as
the
easily
love
be
of
8-3.
I said that already. You're right.
They could be
it's true.
11-0.
They're 5 and
Couple
18.
bounces,
It's true.
yeah.
They're
Like, it's
5
funny, but it's
and
true.
Game of
18
inches.
in their last
And
23
honestly,
one-score
I
games.
feel like that alone is reason why you probably should fire your head
Put
coach
'em in.
because you're so close,
Right.
but you can't finish
No,
any games.
Put them in the Final
Like,
Four.
For us,
they're
yeah.
not lacking in talent. They just can't play. Like, they don't finish games.
Dan, seriously though, if you're the committee and you want to do this differently and you want to reward
Put
teams,
in a 3-8 Nebraska.
no,
yes.
put Purdue in there. Let's just start with Purdue,
No,
right?
because
Oh,
Nebraska will lose.
I'll
Like,
tell
they're
you-
not going to win.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'd put Wake in there. Let's see. I want to see that against Georgia's defense. Just show me what it looks like. I'll sign up for that right now. One game. I don't have any idea, but just show me what that looks like. Wake Forest's offense against Georgia's defense. I will sign up for that right now for the Final Four.
My automatic bet every week is whoever's playing Georgia team total under.
Oh, you know what's funny that you say that? Chris Cody earlier this year said the surest bet that he's ever made is Southern Miss plus 6.5 in a game against Georgia.
No, it was a team total. It was a team total. I think it was it against them or Alabama? It was a team total of 6.5. So they just had to get 7 points in the game.
Georgia is averaging allowed 6.6 points per game. They're throwing the offensive lineman at the quarterback. It's amazing to watch. It really is. Missouri had no chance on Saturday.
Do you think we could make an all-star team of like an ACC all-star team and then put them up against Georgia? How do you think they do? Or like any conference? Like what conference would be the best?
That's a good
Maybe
question.
a Big Ten all-star team.
Put it on the poll
Alabama.
at Batard Show. Would a Big Ten All-Star team of David Bell, would it be Purdue? Would they do anything against Georgia's defense?
If the Warriors are going to give up less than 100 points per game, they may never lose again. 5-4. One might say this is Bill Belichick's best coaching job ever. What do you think, Dana? You agree, huh?
Yes.
All right. Bills.
No, it is his best coaching job ever.
Huh.
There it is.
Way to stay in the now.
I mean, it's just you
Proud of
being
you.
an asshole. Okay. Yeah.
I mean,
You looked at me. You
this
wouldn't just
quarterback's
say
not
it.
even okay.
You didn't just say it. Then you looked at me with a pleased smile. I didn't say anything. I tried to keep it moving. What do you think, Dano?
Bills, Jags. A couple of Josh Allens cutting it up. Jacksonville and Buffalo. Miami and Houston separated by, I think, 300 miles. If you stepped outside anywhere in Florida yesterday between 1 and 4 p.m., what you would smell was bad football, death, taxes, and Justin Tucker, Panthers, Oilers, Lord Stanley, collision course. You see that McDavid goal over the weekend, Mike? One of the great goals. I know.
Did I? I had
Everyone
a unit
had the
on
same
that
reaction.
goal. I watch the Oilers all the time.
He backed up and said, "Okay, all you mother bleepers, all right, let's see what all of you have." That was some John Wick shit.
Michigan State, blah, blah, blah. Where Jordan Love's mom sat yesterday is kind of where I imagine Jordan Love sitting in the quarterback room when Aaron Rodgers is there.
Probably the safest spot in the room.
How bad were those seats? How is
Terrible.
that possible that those are the seats that you get for your son's first start?
She deserved better. You know what the C in Mason Crosby stands for, Dan?
Choker.
Cahoots.
Oh, is he tanking with Aaron?
I mean, first block field goal of his career. He missed another. He converts both of those. 13-13. We're going to OT. I mean,
He's missed more than any kicker in the sport, right?
Yeah.
He's missed 6.
the problem with my theory is he did that when Aaron was there, too.
Did you say that was his first blocked field goal?
I
of his
believe it
career?
was. Yeah.
Huh?
Uh-huh. I could be wrong, though, of course.
This seems like a very hard thing to find.
I could be wrong.
I just
though,
typed in the
of
first thing
course.
into the internet. I see from 2016, Crosby's field goal is blocked. Just like a headline.
So you were just making
Stay
it up.
now, Chris.
Yeah, you were just making it up. Just decided to say for no reason whatsoever.
Was that a field goal or an extra point,
Didn't
Chris?
look it up. Didn't.
Yeah.
Didn't
I
do
trusted the
anything.
announcer. Field goal, extra point, that was.
I'm getting to it.
Okay, good.
2 weeks ago, it looks like he had a blocked kick.
Very good.
A field goal? It's a big difference.
Yeah.
Or an extra point.
You don't have any idea. I wish we should replay.
First block field goal.
He
Someone
came
look
in
it
so
up.
Mike. He came in so meekly with this. I could be wrong, of course. Like there was just a meek dead. I'm making the whole thing up. I hope they don't look it up on me. Just so beaten, fragile, and defeated. Of course,
Anyone look it up?
I could be wrong.
Anyone find it?
Of course. And
Tim
then
Settle blocks
no,
Mason
but now it's
Crosby's low
just a
trajectory
barrage
field
of
goal try.
asking you to look things up so he can't be wrong on something he totally made up.
What happened, Billy?
Keep it moving.
You ever had a field goal block before?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
Oh, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, against Washington.
That's unfortunate
And
for
2
me.
years ago.
Yeah. Well, living the now, guys.
Whittingham, how you doing over there? Why is your head in your
Just the making of something up for no reason.
no
It
reason?
just,
And
it
he's been doing it.
escapes
It's been
my
doing it all his
comprehension.
life. All his life he's been doing it in every
Cahoots.
realm. He just wanted to say cahoots. That's it.
That's all that matters, Whitty.
It's all you had to hear was that he had a big winner for you on cahoots. It's a word.
You care about accuracy, credibility, and being right. I care about saying cahoots. I mean, that's the difference between us. I'm a wordsmith. You're not.
Can't argue that.
Thank you. Rather than blame Adam Gase for Sam Darnold, how about we blame Sam Darnold
Oh,
for
yes.
Sam Darnold?
Yes.
I'm tired of this Gase thing, this whole narrative. I mean, my friend, leave him alone. The Dolphins scored more points than the Chiefs yesterday. Hell is going on in Kansas City. Speaking of hell, Art Briles. Dan, those are the weekend observations.